lot has changed over the last year alone when it comes to the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, or known as ticker symbol SCHD. And what I mean by this is this ETF just recently did a 3-for-1 share split, now making SCHD trading in the upper 20s. And along with that, SCHD announced some most recent distributions, which are massive compared to the previous years, giving this ETF once again the crown for dividend growth king after all. But the question that we want to know is, with all these new developments, with all the changes in SCHD, is $50,000 invested into SCHD still enough to completely change your life in the future and or even the financial future for your family? Now stay tuned, stick around, because we're going to go over everything and more when it comes to SCHD, especially as a long-term investment, and I'm going to share with you exactly how just $50,000 invested into this ETF can change everything. Real quick, for those that haven't already, make sure to go to the first link in my description and grab my new dividend investing ebook, where I share exactly how I went from $0 invested to now earning over $6,000 on a monthly basis and over $1 million invested in the markets. Along with the ebook, you're also going to receive my custom dividend tracker, where you can track your dividend progress on an ongoing basis and reach your dividend investing goals. So make sure to grab yourself a copy of my dividend investing ebook and the new dividend tracker today. It's the first link in my description. So just to back up for a second, for those of you that might be new to dividend investing or new to dividend growth investing in this case, SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, is a dividend growth ETF that's been trading for several years now and is very popular because it offers a very cheap expense ratio at just 0.06%. It offers a rock solid objective, which is to track as closely as possible before fees and expenses the total return of the Dow Jones US Dividend 100 Index, which is an index made up of different dividend stocks, which all have to pass through multiple very intense screenings just to make it in the cut for this ETF. But along with that, SCHD over time has been growing as far as ETF price, but also has been paying dividends and been paying more and more dividends over time, which makes this ETF one of the most popular ETFs across the dividend community, because it truly feels like this is sort of an endless money glitch. If you buy shares of SCHD today, you're probably going to get paid more and more in dividends over time. Now, like I mentioned, all the different names within this ETF, which are around 100 different stocks as of right now as filming this video, these names basically have to pass through multiple screenings in order to even make the cut. Now, these screenings are going to be things like dividend history, dividend growth rate, size of their company, and other things like that. But some of the names are going to be very familiar within the top 10. Names like Home Depot made the list, BlackRock, Cisco. There's names like Chevron, Lockheed Martin, Bristol Myers, Verizon, Pfizer, Texas Instrument, Amgen, AbbVie, Pepsi, UPS, and so on and so forth. Lots of familiar names that all have a lot of things in common, and have all grown over time for the most part as far as stock price appreciation, but also these stocks are dividend payers and also have been raising their dividends collectively for the most part over time. But what's great about SCHD, and the reason on why this is my favorite ETF as a 32-year-old investor that's looking to buy into different dividend-paying stocks and ETFs pretty much for the rest of my life now, I currently hold just over 2,100 shares of SCHD in my long-term portfolio that I've been buying for several years now. And as a lot of you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I've been buying a few shares of SCHD almost every single trading day for as long as I can remember. Now, the reasons for me personally is because I want exposure to capital appreciation, which is what this ETF has done over time. I don't necessarily need to become filthy rich today or tomorrow, but I want to buy into high quality assets that I'm going to be able to sleep well at night with and are going to grow over time, at least have historically. Now, just because SCHD as of right now is trading at all-time highs doesn't of course mean it's going to continue to move up and to the right forever, but at least based off of historical performance, other than a few drops in the overall market, SCHD has always turned the corner and treaded back up to all-time highs. Now, even though for me personally, I'm more of a dividend income focused investor, I still want to hold on to foundational names like this, which are going to help me grow my net worth over time also. But speaking of dividends and dividend growth focus, this ETF offers a 3.42% trailing 12-month dividend yield, which is much higher than a lot of the other dividend growth names, things like VU, things like DGRO, things even like VYM, all super high quality ETFs, all ETFs that I definitely like and invest into. But SCHD offers a bit more cash flow from day one, which could be important to you if you're looking to live off your dividends a little bit sooner, which I am. But the real magic when it comes to SCHD, and I'm sorry because I really never shut up about this, I'm talking about the dividend growth rate, which is up around 12% on the trailing 12-month dividend yield. And the dividend growth rate over the last 10 years is up around 11%. Now, this means basically, simply put, that year after year, at least historically, this ETF has been paying more and more in dividends over time to investors, which means, like I said earlier, if you just hold on to shares of SCHD and don't sell your shares, just sit in your hands year after year, you're probably going to earn more cash flow. At least that's exactly what has happened historically. Now, this is also very important to me for my specific situation because, like I mentioned, I'm 32 years old, and although I'm not looking to live off my dividends today or tomorrow, maybe in the upcoming 2, 4, 6, 8 years, I do want to use some of my dividend income for things like bills, help family and friends, or travel. And the prospects of having more and more dividend income in the future because of investing into a high quality asset like this is definitely going to help me fulfill all that and more. Now, before we go through and I show you how just $50,000 into this ETF could change everything long term for you, at least potentially, I want to show you what $10,000 invested into SCHD back during inception, back in October 24th of 2011, almost 13 years now, that $10,000 would now be worth around $50,000. And this is if, of course, you reinvested those dividends along the way, giving investors of SCHD, if they bought into it from day one, around an average annual total return of 13.17%, or around almost a 400% total return. Now, I know there's some stocks, some ETFs that have outperformed this, but for what SCHD offers, I think it's one of the best to do so and offers a very solid performance. Now, with dividends not being reinvested, you're still looking at around 11.65% return on average per year and around 317.59% total return. Either way, not bad whatsoever. But you guys saw the title of the video, that's why you clicked on this. You want to see what $50,000 invested into SCHD long-term can turn into, and I promise you it's a massive, massive amount of money. So let's check this out. A $50,000 into SCHD, which currently offers around a 3.4% initial dividend yield, around a 9% annual dividend amount increase, which again, this could go up to 10, 11, 12, or it could go down to 9, 8, 7, etc. But either way, the dividend growth for SCHD has been very, very consistent over time, so let's just go with 9%. Expected annual share price appreciation, again, this could be lower or higher. Let's just go with 5% just to find somewhere in the middle. Years invested is going to be 30. We're going to do a $12,000 annual contribution for this example. And I'm also going to show you what would happen if you never contribute another dollar after that initial 50K. Now, to prove to you the power of dividend growth and the power of compound interest over time, $50,000 initial principal, which is going to pay you around $1,700 in dividends, but on top of that, a $12,000 contribution at the end of the year, and reinvesting those dividends into more SCHD will give you around $66,000 year number 2, and your dividend income already almost doubled. Now, by year number 8, you're almost at $200,000 in theory and almost $9,000 per year in dividends. Not enough to retire off of yet, but still with just a $50,000 initial investment, that's not bad whatsoever. Now, as far as how much you're going to need to retire, that's going to be probably for a different video. I don't know exactly how much your guys' bills are, but the average person's bills are probably somewhere of around 40, 50, 60,000, at least the average bills for a family in America. So in this case, it would take around 20 years or so until you're earning north of $50,000 per year in dividend income, which again could be higher, could be lower, but just based off the numbers we went off of, a $50,000 investment, reinvesting the dividends along the way into SCHD plus an extra $12K per year is going to give you around $1 million as far as principal goes after around 21 years of investing. Now, if you invested $50K and never invested another single dollar, you would still get to the point to where your portfolio is nearly worth $1 million plus after 30 or so years. But again, this is with $50K invested, reinvesting dividends along the way, and not investing another single dollar, which I'm sure a lot of us would never do. But still, it proves the point that the power of compound interest and the intrinsic growth of the dividend over time is going to help the portfolio grow on its own and really reach escape velocity after a number of years. Now, of course, I recommend all of you guys mess around with one of these free dividend calculators and type in different scenarios where you could find yourself in personally when it comes to investing into SCHD, VU, or anything else, because it can kind of give you an idea of where you're at and sort of an idea of what you want to contribute annually, etc. But the point of the video still remains and is still as true as ever before. A relatively small amount of money like $50K invested into SCHD could in fact change everything long term if you just stay the course and keep investing long enough. But now lastly, most importantly, I want to hear from you guys down below. If you as of right now have any shares of SCHD across your portfolios, how many shares are you holding? After the split, like I said, I'm holding just north of 2,100 shares across all my portfolios combined. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.